Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the stream for the Formula 2 race at Imola. We are waiting for the last drivers to join before we go to get started with the qualifying. Qualifying is followed by a sprint race of 13 laps and then a featured race of 18 laps. Let's see what interesting race we've got to see today. Thanks, Aquarius. You also good luck with the race. Everybody, thank you for joining this race. Getting ready. Get the qualifying started. And let's see what qualifying brings us today. Should be very interesting and it could be very close together today. is the first driver on track. And it is Aquarius who is first on track. Pretty quiet. He's the only one on track, so let's follow him and let's see what he can do in his first outing in this qualifying. Boy is also on track. Slowly the cars are getting out. But first we got to see what Aquarius is going to do in his first lap. Is putting in his first flying lap with three cars on track. The first chicane. Nice on track. Pretty safe. And of course purple sector 1 because he is the first car. We're trouble with the other cars. Into this tricky part of the circuit with these two right-handers. A little bit of trouble coming out of the corner into this short straight into the chicane. Keeps it valid. Into the fast last sector. Coming into the final last two corners. Let's see what Aquarius can do with this first flying lap. And he puts out a 126.7. Let's see what that brings him. Viper also on a flying lap. Into the tricky part. With the tricky chicane. And he attacked the time. Boy puts on a 126.7, only a hundredths of a second slower than Aquarius. And what can Hyper do? Hyper puts on a 127.3. And we got two other cars on an outlap, Alpha Mati and upcoming Karma. Follow upcoming Karma. He already invalidated his lap. Alpha Mati in the sector 3 in his outlap. The drivers are also in other leagues that we have. Like tomorrow we have our last race of the week and it's the Assist Tier 2 class. also driving at Imola in the Formula 1 with Alfa Matti going into his flying lap. Tomorrow we have the Assist Tier 2 Formula 1 sprint race format. On Tuesday we have the no assist tier, and on the Thursday we drive with the Assist Tier 1. Alfa Matti put on purple sector 1. Let's see what he can do in sector 2. Alfa Matti breaks off his lap. Going to go for a second flying lap, or is he going to the pit? He's going into the pit. What this upcoming Karma is going to do in his flying lap, and he puts on the fastest lap at this moment with a 1:25.5. Than Aquarius did. And Hyper is already on his again on an out lap. This moment is pretty quiet with all the drivers, only a few drivers who put on a fast lap and a few drivers out on an out lap. We got Majestic, Hyper and Matti at this moment on an out lap, and Hyper in the final sector. Hyper is the first one to go on his flying lap, so let's see what Hyper can do in this flying lap. Getting a bit busier on track, so let's hope that all drivers can get out of the way of the drives on a fast lap. Let's see what Hype can do in his first sector. He's a tenth faster than his fastest lap. Also purple sector 1. Put it through to sector 2. To this tricky part. A little bit of a wiggle on the backside, but still keeps it clean. Into the tricky chicane. Nobody getting in his way. Into the last 3 corners. Last corner, let's Let's see what. Ooh, and he's off. Oh. Can he get out of the way of other cars? And cars are spinning out at this moment. Mr. Wiggles is also on a first flying lap. Let's see what he can do in the Trident. Gets a purple sector 2. And gets a clean run in the third sector. Patch set is setting the second time. Mr. Wiggles on the straight. Let's see what he can do. And puts on a 1:26.1 with the third time at this moment. Now it's getting busier with the times that they are putting set. And how much he do on his first timed lap. Keeps it on the grey stuff. And Alphamati puts on the fourth time, but IIRL SNX puts on the fastest time at this moment with a 1:25.1. 4/10 of a second faster than upcoming Karma. Let's see, the times are getting set pretty quick at this moment. Maridaco. Let's see what he can do on this third sector. Only 4 cars in the pit that didn't set a time at that moment. And puts on the fourth time with 1:26.0. Inflated wheel. With Ross in front of him. Ross in the other Trident. Did invalidate with that last chicane. Deflated wheel. His first flying lap, and Ross is taking it into the pit right at that time. And deflated wheel is going to the third time with a 1:25.7. IIRL Greg is on his flying lap in the end of the first sector. Can he do? And still 4 cars without a time. At that moment, Matti goes out, and Tomino is also on an outlap. So only the Bullet and Ross J didn't put on a time at this moment. Aren't on track. Greg puts on the 6th time with a 1:26.1. And it's getting busier with Dr. Edwards is going on a straight. What can he do? Only 12 with 1:27.0. Only the Bullet is in pit at this moment. And Ghost Amino is the first of the 4 cars left that put on the time. Can Ghost Amino do in his MP Motorsports car? So getting nicely out of the way of other drivers so they can go on doing their fast laps. To this tricky chicane, where you can easily spin out. Into the final 2 corners, staying within the almost getting invalidated, but staying into the line, and puts on the 10th time with 1:26.5. Faster lap 1:24.9 by Snakes. Ross is also putting on a fast time, so let's see what Ross can do. Maybe get a little bit hindered by that car, but didn't set a time at the last outing. Taking the cone with them and putting on the 3rd time with 1:25.4. So there's only 1 car under the 1:25. And the Bullet is still in pit. He's a little bit faster in his 2nd sector. A little bit slower, sorry. So let's see if he can improve in the 3rd sector. Looking that the track is getting a little bit faster. And onto the straight. Can he improve? And he improved with 2/10, placing him in 5th at this moment with 1:25.6. Let's see if Greg can improve. Last little bit of heat in those tires before setting into his flying lap with his teammate in front of him. Into the last 2 corners in the last corner and going into his flying lap. His teammate is going into the pit, so we don't have any problems with that. Into the second chicane, to the first sector, and he's a little bit quicker than in his fastest lap. And Mr. Wiggles putting on a 125 of 24.5 at this moment, 4/10 quicker than the Snakes. See what Greg can do. Can he improve on his 10th position at this moment? And he's almost half a second quicker, and he saved it, but did it cost him a lot of time? Looks like he's going to set the lap through. Going into the pit. Inflated, we invalidated, and Hyper is going on a fast lap. Tricky corners where you can easily spin out like Hyper did, and he invalidated also. Edward. Let's see if Ross J could improve. And Mr. Wiggles retires. That'd be enough to get pole position. Still, the Bullet hasn't set any lap time and is still in pit lane. But first we have to see what Ross can do. Ross can improve. And he's the quickest in the second sector. Almost 5/10 of a second quicker. You need a little bit more and keeps it in the lines. And what can he do in his final sector? Can he get it in front of Mr. Wiggles? No, a 124.8 puts him on second place for this moment. Snakes is at track on a flying lap and is a little bit quicker than he was. But can he get in front of Ross or Mr. Wiggles? And he needs a very fast third sector. To the last corner. Nobody in front. So let's see. And no, he did improve, but didn't improve his position. But it's so close to Ross, and the field seems to be pretty close together. Improves also, and let's see if he can improve in the third sector and improve his position at this moment. He's at this moment in 5th position. struggling and out of gas, so he's going into the pit. Karma is a tad faster than he was, slower than he was in his fastest lap. So what can he do in the final? Seems a little busy over there. Car spins out, gets out of the way. Karma in the foot, Rosie. Can he improve in his position? No, he can't, but he did improve on his time. Dispatch. It's going pretty well for it going. Let's see if other drivers are going to improve at this moment. Greg is a little bit slower than he was, so don't think and I see that the bullet has finally going to his flying lap. Let's see what he can do. Oh, almost spins out, but takes nice control of his Carling car. What time can he do? Will it be still 17th or will he improve? With Hyper retiring on 13th place at this moment. Is going out for his out lap. Would it be enough time to get in a lap in? Let's see if Matty Boy can improve on his position. Validated his lap. A lot of cars are at this moment on a flying lap. Upcoming Karma seems to be satisfied with his time and staying in the pit. Same for Alpha Matti. Let's see if everybody who's on an out lap can improve their time and get their time in, because there are 30 seconds left until the flag. So what cars gambled wrong? Who gambled wrong, or is everybody in time? Everybody is on time, and Snakes looks to be the last car who is going to be setting a time. So let's follow Snakes and see what the starting grid will be. Will it be Mr. Wiggles? Ross didn't seem to be didn't improve and has pitted his car, so and Snakes is a little bit faster. Can he get? Oh, and he spins out, and that was his qualifying. GR Matti, what can he do? He surprised us. Ooh, and invalidated. Did we? into the last two corners. In the last corner, a little bit of oversteer, and that was it. Majestic, what can he do? He invalidated his lap. Matty boy, can he do it? Oh, just invalidated his lap, and that should be the qualifying. So we have on pole position Mr. Wiggles, P2 for Ross J, P4 for IIRL Snakes, P4 for ZR Mati, upcoming coming P5, P6 for Deflated Wii, P7 Majestic, P8 1010, P9 Dr. Edward, in P10 we got Ghost Tomino, P11 for IRL Greg, the Bullet in P12, with Hycon P13, Alpha Mati P14, Aquarius P15, Matty Boy P16, and Mary Daco disqualified in P17. So that was qualifying, and we got a 5-minute break, and then we got the sprint race at the Imola track. So that was qualifying. With a pretty slow start at qualifying, we got a pretty nice, interesting qualifying session. And it should be a very interesting sprint race, but a far more interesting feature race. Because the signals I have is that the feature race is going to be a wet race. So we got a dry sprint race and a wet feature race. So this is going to be very interesting. And I see that we don't have a 5-minute break and that the warm-up lap will start within 10 seconds. Good luck to all the drivers and everybody watching. Have fun. I will try to keep up my first race, so let's have fun everybody. Let's see what this brings us. goes to Mino, driving in the MP Motorsports car, followed by Dr. Edward in the Virtuosi. 1010, also in the MP Motorsports. Majestic in P4, Deflated Wii P5, Upcoming Karma P6, GR Muddy P7, IIRL Snakes P8, Ross-J P9, Mr. Wiggles P10, so we got a reverse grid from 10 to P1, because Mr. Wiggles put on the fastest lap in the qualifying, IRL Greg in P11, The Bullet P12, IRL Hyper P13, Alpha Matti P14, Aquarius P15, Matty Boy P16, and in last place Maridago. We're getting in the starting positions. Green flag is being waved. The last cars are getting into position, and we're waiting till the lights go on. And we're off. And it's a great start from Mino with what a great start. And he's putting out the gap in the backfield. Oh gosh, he's getting away. Side by side, a little bit of touch. Oh, the cars are getting on the inside. And let's see. And Ghost Mino seems to be away with 1010 and a yellow flag in sector 1. That should be for Hyper, that is on last place at this moment. And he get away, and Hyper seems to be away. Mr. Wiggles on the backside with Upcoming Karma. Can he make a pass? In this tricky 2 right corners, where you can easily spin out. Cars are looking, and in the backside they're making passes, and Mr. Wiggles in the gearbox with by Dr. Edwards. And Ghost Mino has a 1 second lead on 1010. And Deflated Wii is on the gearbox, and on the side they are side by side, and Deflated Wii, is he through? Whoa! And Ross is on to second position. Those cars easy side by side. 1010 seems to be losing out at the moment, and got a 3-second penalty for Snakes. What a fight is this in the midfield? We're side by side, fighting everywhere. It's hard to keep up. A little bit of touch. First are pretty hard to make those corners. And Aquarius seems to be also very behind, with Ross-J putting on 126.7 at this moment. Where there are fights, positions, and Pets gets a 3-second penalty. Let's see how many cars there are going to be finishing. and how many cars are finishing without any penalties. It's a tricky track. Some very tricky corners where you can easily spin out. There are fights all over the pack, but Ghost Tomino seems to be, together with Rusty, seem to be putting away from the pack, because Deflated Wee on third position is almost 2 seconds behind Ross, and Ross is within a second of Ghost Tomino. Can he get close enough by to make a move on this straight? Because the DRS should be enabled. We have DRS, so can he get close enough by to make that move, or will he be far enough away? In the meantime, Mr. Wiggles are putting on the fastest lap of the race. But Ross is too far away to make that move, but can he make a move? Oh, and he tries to make that move, but he's not close enough by, but here on the outside, braking a little bit later, but Ghost Tomino defends the inside, but now let's see what Ross can do. Ross is in front and he makes the move stick, but can he get a gap from a second to get out of the DRS zone into this tricky part? But Ghost Tomino don't give up into the chicane, and 1010 retired from the session. We got a yellow flag. I believe 1010 has crashed out of the race, but in this fight we got Ghost Tomino in the gearbox of Ross J into the last corner. Can Ross J defend his position, or will Ghost Tomino go in front of him with the DRS? I think that it's going to be Ghost Tomino on the outside. Ross J is defending the inside, and Ghost Tomino is in front again. So we have a DRS race on our hand. In the meantime, Mr. Wiggles is in a close fight with CR Muddy. And upcoming Karma drove straight into the corner. Mr. Wiggles with 3-second penalty, so he must get in front of Giamatti to make enough gap to make his penalty stick. So can he get in front? And what a move! So what a move! And into the last 2 corners, and can Ross get in front of Ghost Tomino? With the DRS within a second. In the meantime, the Deflated is getting closer to those 2, because when they're fighting, they will ask a lot of those tires of them. And what a fight they give. And now Rocky seems to have a gap, and Deflated Wee is getting closer and closer by. He is within DRS range. And another penalty. See if there are... Mr. Wiggles and Zero Mati, what can they do? This seems to be an interesting fight, and Mr. Wiggles get another penalty of 3 seconds, so he needs to get by. to not losing that much places with his penalty. But can he get by? Going into the last two corners. And is he close enough by to make the move stick with DRS? Or can Giamatti defend his position? DRS is open. Giamatti doesn't have DRS, so Mr. Wills should make the move. Giamatti is defending the inside and Giamatti defensive position, but on the outside, no, Mr. Wills can't get it through, but he puts on the pressure. He get enough pressure to make Giamatti make a mistake. Penalty, and Mr. Wiggles is in front of Giamatti, and Giamatti didn't make the corner and loses a lot of ground to Mr. Wiggles, and IIRL speeding in the pit lane penalty. And we have a fight on our hand with Maridako. On P7, P8 and P6 we have a fight for P6 with Maridako, Greg and Dr. Edward. In the meantime we got in for the first two places we got Ross and Deflated Wii. But first we have to see what is happening over here. Seems to be settling in. Within half a second of each other. DRS. Is it close enough? It seems to be too far away. In the meantime, in the front of the race, we got Ross J still in front, but Deflated Wii within a second of him, within DRS range, so the bullet retired from the session. Within a half a second. Going to the tricky chicane where a lot of cars spins out or don't make the corner. Almost got a spin there over there. Penalties at this moment, and we get almost a sprint from Deflated. We lost a lot of time from Ross J that's got enough space. And the field seems to be settling in. only a few fights left. Mr. Wiggles in the fight with Ghost Amino, and he's in 3/10 of a second, with only 3 laps to go. With Snakes also putting on a DNF. But he got retired from the session. See what's happening over there, but it seems to be we got a safety car on track. So the whole field is going to get closer to each other, and let's see how many laps we are going to get behind the safety car with only 3 laps to go. It's pretty challenging at this moment with this race, with all those things happening, but so good fun. It's getting closer to the safety car. Let's see how Ross J can get through this moment where he needs to wait until the field is backed up. Drivers will be happy, so they can get closer by or get a new set of tires. Gets a penalty behind the safety car for multiple warnings, with the whole field almost together, so probably with a little bit of luck the safety car will go in this lap, but we have to wait, and then we probably going to get 2 laps of racing, and our predictions were right. So let's see what this safety car restart brings us, with Ross J in front of the field and Deflated Wee following him. Looks almost like an American restart with 2 cars side by side. And it is the cat and mouse game. Ross J is on his way again with Deflated Wee in his gearbox. Deflated Wee on the inside over the grass. Did they touch? Side by side, and Ghost Amino goes straight and loses out a lot of positions. We got a lot of changes and a lot of penalties will be affected to the standings at the end of this race. Looks like Ross J has enough space of the, at the back, because the lady is on a defense from Mr. Wiggles, and Mr. Wiggles is on a defense from Matti. We have a fight on our hand for P3. Wiggles, Matti, Maridako, and we got a little bit of touch from Maridako, it seems, where which Matti loses out on Mr. Wiggles, and Mr. Wiggles is nearby Deflated Wee. Get a DRS in the remainder of this race, so let's see what they can do you're on racing. Oh, takes a little bit of too much curb around there. In the meantime, in the backfield, there's a fight. Upcoming Karma DNF at the end of the race. Field seems to be settling down with only 5 left. It's Mr. Wiggles and Deflated Wii. Going into the last sector of the race. What can Mr. Wiggles getting another penalty, bringing his total onto 9 seconds. That should be harming him at the end of this race. Let's see, for this moment, Rosier will take the win going into the last corner. Onto the straight. And Rosier takes the win in the sprint race. P2 for Deflated Wii. Greg P3. Matty P4. Dr. Edward P5. P6 for Aquarius. Maridago P7. Ghostamino P8. P9 Alpha Matti. Mr. Wiggles P10. And in P11 Hyper. Really did, Mr. Wiggles. After this race, we got a 5-minute break. Rosier, Deflated Wii, and Greg for this nice podium of this sprint race. For the sprint race, we got Rosier in P1, Deflated Wii P2, Greg in P3, Matti P4, P5 Edwards, Aquarius, Maridago, Ghostamino, Alpha Matti, Mr. Wiggles, P11 Hyper, upcoming Karma, Matty Boy, IIRL, Snakes, The Bullet, Majestic and 1010 did not finish. Let's see what the feature race brings us. First of all, we got a 5-minute break. And just like they expected, it's going to be raining in this second race, in this feature race. Should be interesting because I think there aren't a lot of drivers that expected that. Let's see how many cars can finish this race. I'm pretty curious what is going, how many drivers are going to finish this race in the wet. Maybe it would be drying up later in the race, so that could be interesting. Maybe that we have a crossover point that we are going until the dry tires. I believe that the second race would be 18 laps, if I'm not mistaken. And we are going again. In 15 seconds we are going to make a startup for the warm-up lap. For this feature race, we will be starting in the wet. Feature race, we got a starting grid with on pole position Mr. Wiggles, followed by his teammate Ross J. In third, Snakes, followed Next to him, ZR Mati on P5th upcoming Karma. Deflated Wii in P6. Majestic on P7. 1010 in P8. P9 for Dr. Edward. Next to him goes to Mino. In P11 IRL Greg with the Bullet, Hyper and Alpha Mati. Aquarius and Matty Boy and Maridago are already disqualified from this warm-up lap. So let's see what this feature race will bring us. Good luck to all the drivers. You all watching. Good luck and have fun. They're all lining up. And waiting until the lights are going on. And we're off. Let's see who's had the best start. And both drivers and the front row seem to be getting good away. And everybody seems to be good away without no. Yeah, that's was expected. With both teammates fighting for the first position. With Ross J and Mr. Wiggles giving a little bit of push. Ross J falling back to the field in third position, and we got a yellow flag because Matty Boy is off track. Changes at this moment. We get pushed off track. This tricky part with these two tricky right corners, and they got touched, and Mati seems to be losing out on it, and we got a yellow flag. 3-second penalty for corner cutting for Ross J, but he's in first position. Has left the session, so I think the Bullet has crashed out in sector 2. Ross J seems to be putting out a gap, but Snake's putting on the fastest lap of the race at this moment. Yellow flag in sector 3 for Hyper. Seems to be really mixed up, with most positions gained by Ghost Mino and by Maridago. Both drivers gained 5 positions from the start. Deflated Wii and Ghost Mino. Deflated Wii and Mr. Wiggles seems to be in a really hard fight. Hyper is really struggling on this track. See if Deflated Wii. Oh, and Mr. Wiggles get the corner stick. And Greg gets a 3-second penalty. Cars are leaving the track a little bit. Marty's going into the pit. Multiple cars are getting into the pit. Upcoming Karma and Greg are both getting a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Upcoming Karma retired from the session. Alpha Matti and Greg are both in the pit. Justic is in a fight with Aquarius. Can Aquarius defend his position? Tenths of a second. It's pretty much the only fight at the moment really happening. It's Majestic within a half a second, and Aquarius is going wide that turn, so let's see how much time he lost. And Majestic spins out and that in the chicane, so Aquarius has a little bit of breathing room, and he is now on the attack by Maridago. Maridago got a little bit turned wide, and Aquarius is in front of him, and Dr. Edwards putting on the fastest level 1:37.4. Aquarius is away, and let's see what Mr. Wiggles can do. Mr. Wiggles get in front of Deflated Wee. He's on the inside, and Deflated Wee defensive position, and Mr. Wiggles is off track. Can get back in the fight again. And Matty Boy is within half a second of 10:10. What can he do? Can he get close enough by to make a move stick? And Hyper gets a 10-second penalty because exceeding track limits. Honestly, I didn't see that one before, but 10 seconds, that seems to be harsh. Can Matty Boy get close enough by to get a move on 10:10? And we got a yellow flag in this sector. Now in sector 2, and we got a penalty for Maridago. In the meantime, fastest lap by Ross J is in front, and he's... Oh, and Matty Boy gets a move on 10:10, and he's got the move stuck. So let's see what 10:10 can do. Can he attack back? Stays within that half a second window. We go to the front where Ghost Mino is within 0.3 of a second of Deflated Wee. Can the driver in the MP Motorsports car get a move? This tricky right corner. A little bit of spinning with the backside of the car into the chicane, taking a lot of the inside corner. Within half a second. Is he lining him up for the move on the start-finish straight? Into the last corner. Can he get a good exit? With Ross J putting on a fast lap again. And we got Ghost Mino in the gearbox of deflated wheel. Deflated wheel is fast enough in the first sector to defend his position, and it seems that Ghost Mino gets a little bit too far off track, but he's back in the fight again. Positioning himself to make the move, get close enough by. This tricky second sector. A little bit of slip from the backside. Gets a good exit from this corner. And can he line him up? And he gets a 3-second penalty. Probably for going off track. Let's see what fights there are with Matty Boy at this moment. Really easy takeover because Maridako goes off track in that tricky chicane. At this moment, the cars with the most positions gained are also the cars on positions 8, 9 and 10. With all 3 cars gained 7 positions from the start. Also Ghost Mino gained 6 positions. And what happened? I didn't know what that happened. Sorry. And at this moment there aren't that many fights on track. Ghost Mino and deflated we are still in that fight. Ghost Mino is in that second window, but we don't have DRS because of wet weather. Rostier is putting a fast lap again. Is putting on the fastest lap of the race at that moment. Ghost Mino is lost a little bit of time with deflated wheel. Let's see what Maridako can do. Can he get back in the race again? Can he get close enough by Matty Boy to make a move stick? Like all cars are really settling down. Probably only 2 fights at this moment. There are the fight within Ghost Mino and deflated wheel, and we got ourselves this fight between Maridako and Matty Boy. With Matty Boy making a mistake into that last chicane Maridako is close enough by, but did they touch? Because Maridako is in front of him, and it seems to be that he letting him by because they touched and he wanted to make a clean move. So now it's driving with Maridako letting him in, letting him by again. Can he make a move stick the next lap? Halfway through the race, we got in first place Ross J with a 3 second penalty. P2 we got IIRL Snake. 3 deflated wheat. Ross J is putting on a fast lap again, so the track seems to me to it's getting to be faster, but it's still raining. So going to a different tire is still not an option. And Maridako seems to let the fight go for this moment. Let's give Ross some bit of airtime that he deserves, because he's driving in front with a steady lead, a little bit under the 3 second penalty that he has. So he needs a little bit more time to make this position safe. But at this moment he seems to be pretty stable. And we got a yellow flag in sector 2. That's Hyper that really struggling at this track and really struggling in this weather. In the meantime, Greg is in the back of Majestic. Can he make a move on Patch? And Patch is letting him by, it seems. With an 8 second penalty that Greg has, means that Patch always has position. Aquarius seems to be falling back. Really spin. Really fights going on. Only a few drivers that don't have a penalty. We got Hyper for speeding into the pit lane. No cars really driving together, so Mino backed off of the fight with the deflated Wii. Maybe we'll get into it later into the race with Ross J putting on the fastest lap of the race. And he's 3 seconds. So let's see if he could make the gap even bigger. Snake spins out and Whoa, and multiple cars are spinning out. It's a pretty hard track in itself, and when it's raining, that makes the track even harder than it already is. With Ghost Amino gets a 3-second penalty, and Rossi is gone. He gets himself a 5-second gap to Deflated Wii, who has a 1.5-second gap to Ghost Amino, that has a 7-second gap to Dr. Edward. But we got a fight with, and the DRS is enabled, so this could be interesting within the remainder of the race. Try to get to another tire, or will they stay on to the wet tires? Whoa, and Snakes is spinning out on the first chicane, but has enough gap to Mr. Wiggles. And Mr. Wiggles is in the pit, and he's going onto the dry tires. More cars are in the pit at the moment. What will everybody do? Everybody is going into the pit for dry tires, with Patch getting another penalty. Roger on the wet tires. So we got Mr. Wiggles on the medium compound, Aquarius on the soft compound, Maridako on the medium. We've got a very interesting strategy going into the remainder of this race, with Roger is still going on the wet tire, with only 5 laps remaining. What can that mean? Cars are getting rid of their penalties, of course, with the pit stop they made, but the gaps are pretty big at the moment. And we got Snakes going into the pit lane, and Alphamati on the soft compound is setting the fastest lap with the 1:33.3. So it seems to me that the dry tire is the best tire to go on. See if Roger is still trusted to the wet compound, or thinks that it would be better to go onto the dry tire. It seems to me that he's pretty struggling at the moment, so I think that he will be going into the pit. And what would it cost him? Gets another penalty, and he's still going on. Is he thinking that he will finish this race on this compound, that he has enough of, he has enough of gap, of course, so if he gets enough space to deflate it really, then he never has to stop. Fight with Mud Boy. Alpha Mati says a faster time of 1:30.5. I believe 3 seconds faster than the fastest lap in the last lap. Mr. Wiggles is going even faster. But it's flying times at this moment. So, does Ross J have enough gap to make it through to the final lap, to the finish line on this compound, or will he? Seems to be really struggling with this tire, but don't want to come in. Mr. Wiggles is going even faster with 126.5. Mr. Wiggles is really pushing, but I think it's a bit too late. Snakes, 1010, Aquarius and Alpha Mati are the only drivers at this moment driving without a penalty in this very difficult race. Mati boy on the wet tires even falling further back. Probably he had better pit it, but at this moment you don't have anything to lose, so the only thing you can do is get out of the way. Wiggles is getting close. And Snakes had the fastest lap of the race. What an incredible race. Within 5 seconds of Dr. Edwards. Can he get close enough by to get in front of Dr. Edwards for P4? What a drive of Ross. With deflated wheel coming a little bit closer. J really struggling, and Mr. Wiggles putting another fastest lap of the race. So he is really pushing in this last lap. Yellow flag. He's pinned out. And what's happening here? Dr. Edward is going lost control and Aquarius get a penalty, so we only have 2 drivers with no penalties in this race, and that is Snakes and that is 10-10. Mr. Wiggles is pushing, but I think that the podium is a bit too far away. But he's really on the push. But for the race when we have to go to our race winner and the race driver of the day, Ross J. In second place we got Deflated Wheel. Mr. Wiggles. Hard to say what the finishing positions will be with all those penalties, but at this moment we have Roche, who is winning the race and winning this weekend. Deflated Wheel goes to Mino as the podium. Mr. Wiggles in P4, Dr. Edwards, Snakes in P6, ZR Matty P7, Matty Boy P8, 1010 P9, Maridako P10, coming in on P11, Aquarius P12. It was a pretty exciting race weekend for me with my first streaming of this league. As victor, as winner of this weekend, we got Ross J. Deflated Wheel comes in P2. Goes to Mino comes in P3 of this weekend. Wiggles P4, P5 for Dr. Edward. Snakes P6, P7 for Dr. For ZR Matty Boy, P8, 1010 P9 and Maridako P10. That was the F2 race for this week. Next week we will have Portimao. We'll see you then. For today, have a good one.